Good morning, this is Stuart Liesel from Chiselbury. We're here at the WHWF Fest 2024, and our first person we're going to talk to today is one of our star future authors, Ian Pegg, who is writing a book called Death and Heroes. So Ian, good morning.
Good morning, Stuart.
Pity the weather isn't quite as good as we were expecting, and you and I are in our shorts and we look at that, so whatever. But it's going to get better. We're here in front of a Sherman tank, so perhaps you can tell us a little bit about your book.
Yeah, my book is Death and Heroes, Army Chaplains in World War II. It's a book about the chaplains and the role they played, both spiritually, morally and religiously, for their troops. It's a book about the men themselves, and they were all men, and about the role that they undertook across the whole of the war.
And how many of you focusing on?
There'll be about 70 chaplains in the book themselves, but we've got to remember this is a very small sample of 3,692 that actually fought in the whole war, and of those 96 British Army chaplains died, and 38
96.
Commonwealth, and 38 Commonwealth chaplains died, and I will be covering some Commonwealth chaplains within the book.
And did many of them win decorations as well?
There was one Victoria Cross awarded to a Canadian chaplain, John Weirfoot, for the Dieppe raid. There are a number of military crosses awarded across the war, but per regiment there are probably more awards to chaplains than any other regiment.
Wow, and it's one of those stories, you know, as a soldier one always remembers the regimental padre, but he's someone who's forgotten except in rather bad times and when things, and it's an amazing job they had of going into battle completely unarmed.
And that's the really interesting thing, is who were these men and what drove them to go into the front line, to serve right on the front line in danger, without picking up arms, sometimes giving up their freedom for their troops, becoming prisoners of war, and sometimes making the ultimate sacrifice. And it's the book, I hope, draws out some of those stories and why that happened.
And what's the interest been? Have you found many people have been interested in this story in your book? Or?
The book, there is very few books on chaplains in World War II, and it is really an interesting area. The amount of interest I have had in the book itself and the stories that I tell both at festivals and in podcasts has really gained a lot of attention, and I'm really looking forward to publishing this book with Chiselbury.
Well, I'm looking forward to publishing it, and I have to say from my side it's amazing, the support. And I obviously remember Leslie Skinner, about having been adjutant of the Sherwood Rangers Yeomanry, who was made famous obviously in James Holland's book and before, and it's an amazing story he said, but I think he's just the tip of the iceberg.
He is very much, and when you say to people, what do you know about padres in World War II, chaplains, that's the only one they can really mention, and yet there are so many other stories of heroism, of bravery, of fortitude, of leadership, and these stories need to be told. These are important men to the soldiers they served with. They were looked up to and revered in lots of ways for their calmness, their caring nature, and the work that they did that was wider than religion. So they would deal with wounded, they would give last rites, they would record all the deaths of their soldiers in very difficult circumstances, and that was right on the front line, right at the heart of battle.
Ian, thanks very much for your time. I'm looking forward very much to hearing your talk this afternoon and to seeing the book in a month or less even.
That's great. Thank you very much for the time, Stuart.
Thanks, Ian. Bye.